Hello everyone, and welcome back to another session of Dark Souls PvP and another weapon showcase. This time I am using the Silver Knight Spear, which is coincidentally one of the two spears that I actually like. Now, the reason I like this spear is because of its one-handed R2. That whole one-handed R2 moveset thing that it's got going, that wide sweep followed by the overhead slam, that is so cool. And it's one of the two spears that I like. I believe I said that. The other one would be the Partisan. I like the only two spears that have sweeping attacks. I don't know why. It's just, it adds variety to them, I guess, and that's, that's something I like. So, yeah. Now, this weapon is a very good one. It's got a lot of good things going for it. It's got a great moveset, great variety in its moveset. It's got decent damage for a spear. And it's got the 4th longest reach in the game, I believe. Maybe 2nd longest. I don't know. It's kind of debatable whether it's longer than the Dragon Slayer Spear or not. Moonlight Butterfly Horn is longer than it. Maybe it's 3rd or 4th. I don't know. It's up there. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's in the top 5. We'll go with that. It's in the top 5 longest weapons in the game. So, that being said, you can expect people to be extra turtley, I guess. People have difficulty fighting against the long weapons, namely the Demon Slayer's, or the Demon Spear, the Dragon Slayer Spear, and the Silver Knight Spear. Those are the longer weapons in the game. Also, the Moonlight Butterfly Horn. People have difficulty fighting those, so they will act a bit differently. They'll turtle more, they will backstab fish more, they'll go for roll backstabs more, and they'll try and get up close and parry spam you more. That's just something that people do. Those are the common ways people try and fight against these weapons. So, that being said, that's something you should expect going in. Now, the biggest pro of this weapon, I would have to say, is not the length, but is the moveset. I love this weapon's moveset. Its R1s are fast. It can turtle poke. It's got a great one-handed R2 attack, both the first wide sweep and the second overhead slam. I mean, you can bait people with that first sweep and then go into that slam so easily. It's ridiculous. Its two-handed R2 is also very good. It's that slightly delayed charge-up stab. People don't really expect a slower stab from a spear, so that can throw them off. Really, this weapon has a lot of good things in its moveset going for it. In addition to that, it's also got fairly decent damage for a spear. It is on the lower end. It's actually, I think it's like, for me, it's doing 8 damage less than the Partisan. And the Partisan and the normal spear do the same amount of damage, for those who don't know. So this actually would be the least damaging spear for me, which is fine by me. I mean, it's got such good range and such a great moveset that it kind of makes up for it. You can't have everything. So there's that. Other pros of the weapon, I mentioned its moveset, I mentioned the range, its speed, I guess that could fall in with the moveset as well. Really, pretty much everything about this weapon is a pro. Aside from the fact that people will be a little extra cheap when they fight against you, that's a con right there. Also, the fact that it's... what's the best way to say it? Well, its use is frowned upon, and that goes with people being a little extra cheap against you. But that's not really what I'm trying to say. It's easy to use. Now, that sounds like a strange con, but, I mean, come on, I like a challenge. This weapon, using it, it's really not a challenge at all. Sure, there are times when I will be stupid and walk into attacks, but overall, this weapon is very, very easy to use. And I like a challenge sometimes, so when I'm in the mood for something more challenging, this is not a weapon I'll be using because it's kind of like easy mode. So, yeah, I guess I'm going to count that as a con as well. So really, biggest con of the weapon, the low damage output for a spear, even though it's not that big of a difference, it's there. The fact that it's easy mode and not always the most fun thing to do, that's also a con. And that pretty much sums it up. Really, this weapon doesn't have any cons that are that noticeable. It doesn't really stand out. It works with the Leo ring well. It that alone right there, that makes up for the lack of damage output, so that kind of takes care of one con. You've got the long reach, you've got the fast pokes, you've got the great moveset and the variety that it has. It's hard to go wrong with this weapon, it really is. So, also, it does decent damage on a riposte and a backstab. It does around 700 on a riposte for me. So that's, I mean, you can't complain about that. It's not like it's a short sword doing 500 damage on a riposte. So, yeah. Now, that is pretty much everything about the weapon. I already recapped it, really, so I'm not going to bother doing that again. Got another showcase or two that I have to record today, so I'm actually just going to cut it right here, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next time.